Just east of Albuquerque on the Turquoise Trail, on the way up to the Sandia Crest on New Mexico Highway 536, is one of the state's most precious gems, the Tinkertown Museum. Over 4 decades, Ross Ward lovingly created this eclectic, imaginative, and brilliant world that is now Tinkertown Museum. From the very structure of Tinkertown itself, to all the marvelous contents inside, Ross built, created, and toiled with inspiration to create this wonderland. It is hard to put into words. It really is something to experience firsthand. Let's see what Grandma's all about. I got some quarters. Let's see what my fortune is. What you got for me, Grandma? You were nature's stepchild. We got the career pilot. Are you the captain of your fate? Fish peddler. Some of these miniature carved figures first traveled around the country to county fairs and carnivals in the 1960s and 70s, but Ross's personal history with the carnival goes far beyond that. As a prolific self-taught painter, Ross painted for carnivals for over 30 years. His love for circus life is reflected in many of the exhibits you see today. How to be really alive. This guy has some very wise words to say. You can tell that he was a smart man. Ross's wife Carla oversees Tinkertown now, and I had the chance to meet with her on my visit. Thank you for having me. This place is immaculate.
Thank you.
In like the most creative, like off the beaten path kind of way. So I'm wondering, what was the origin of Tinkertown?
Well, you know, Ross and I traveled a lot around the country because he was a carnival and circus painter is what his day job was. He traveled all over the country painting big fun houses and murals, and we would stop at every roadside attraction that we could find, and they were disappearing like crazy. Every time we'd drive down the road, another one would be gone, and we thought, you know, we should really build one ourselves.
Okay.
So we kind of built one that we would most want to go to. We used to have the Western Town in a little trailer and would take it around to state fairs. It played at the New Mexico State Fair for many years. And so we had the beginnings of a roadside attraction. And then as we kept working it, you know, it would grow and grow and grow. And, you know, it just evolved into this.
Totally. So it was based out of a necessity. We had so much stuff. We wanted to show it to the world.
Unfortunately, he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease when he was only 57 and died at 62 in 2002, 12 years ago. But he did all of this by the time he was basically 57 years old, and he was truly a remarkable genius.
People don't do this much on a lifetime.
I know.
It's kind of hard to fathom when you look at, like, for example, like the circus tent.
Yeah.
There's like 50 things going on, and to think that one person went from one thing to the next and all intricately placed perfectly, it's like, how can you even conceive of doing something like that?
He was really gifted.
Beyond all of Ross's creations, there's an artifact of a completely different nature towards the back of the museum. How did the boat come to be here?
Well, my brother is the sailor, and he was living here, right here next door to Tinkertown here, and building guitars, and he just had this notion that he wanted to sail around the world. So he went looking for a boat and found one in Fort Lauderdale that a British couple had sailed in there under his price range, and he bought it and took off in 1981, and with the idea that he was going to spend 10 years sailing around the world.
10 years.
Yeah.
That's a commitment.
It's a huge commitment. I got to meet up with him many different places, and I would come and join him for a couple of months at a time, and we had lots of amazing adventures.
Yeah.
And when he finished sailing in 1992, he tried for 2 years to sell the boat, couldn't find anybody that wanted to buy it. So he was going to take it out and sink it and make a reef out of it, and we said, no, bring it here to the museum. It's one of our best exhibits. People love the idea that somebody just had a dream and they made it happen to travel.
While a sailboat anchored in the middle of the desert at the back of the Sandia Mountains seems like it should be out of the ordinary, somehow at Tinkertown, the unexpected feels completely natural. Of course this sailboat made its way here. Naturally, this boat decided to make Tinkertown its home. Voyage of Theodora R. All right, best pina colada in the Caribbean. To be expected. Emergency surgery. Cheapest beer in Madagascar. Favorite place in the Mediterranean here off of the coast of Turkey. voyage completed in Mobile, Alabama in 1991. And then from there, of course, it makes it to Tinkertown, right in New Mexico. It's really amazing thinking that this boat has been all around the world. It's seen who knows how many different countries and been in crazy waters and near-death experiences, and to know someone was riding this thing the whole way through. And now it's in the middle of New Mexico. So why do you think the sailboat is perfectly placed as a resting place here in Tinkertown?
Tinkertown speaks to the traveling spirit. All of our quotes and all the people we get from around the world, we meet here at Tinkertown, and it just touches everybody's quest for understanding each other and the world.
Right. Being here at Tinkertown, I keep thinking of a quote by Wilford Peterson. Walk with the dreamers, the believers, the courageous, the cheerful, the planners, the doers, the people with their heads in the clouds and their feet on the ground. Let their spirit ignite a fire within you to leave this world better than you found it. A dreamer and a doer lived here, and he left a brilliant, eccentric, offbeat, and happy world behind him. He built it. All you need to do is come and see it for yourself. Undoubtedly, you'll take some inspiration with you when you leave. Tinkertown is closed during the winter months, November through March. Otherwise, their doors are open 7 days a week, and kids under 4 are free. Situated on both the road to Sandia Crest and the scenic Turquoise Trail Byway, make a day trip out of your visit to Tinkertown and hit the old mining towns and art communities of Madrid and Cerrillos too.